Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. Today we got ourselves our second ever, what we're going to be calling the Decapitation. So when we open up a new bottle here, we're going to be calling it the Decapitation. Anyways, on today's Decapitation, we're going with the Jim Beam single barrel 108 proof. For those of you that are interested, this is barrel number JB0002300029. And I don't know if it's just me, but that 9 looks like a G. Like I said, 108 proof or 54% alcohol by volume. I have had this before and I really enjoyed it. So this is a bourbon that you really want to let rest, because I find if you just pour this in and you don't let it rest at least 10 minutes, it's not as complex. It really needs the time to open up to get those classic Jim Beam nutty flavors and the nose. But a lot of people that I've seen review this on Reddit actually said that they don't get the typical Jim Beam nuttiness in this dram. So anyways, without further ado, we're gonna decapitate this thing, and in this instance we actually have a cap and not a cork. So I'm just gonna cut that out. Never cut towards yourself unless you're really confident with a knife and have not already had a glass. But anyways, that should be good. So yeah, it's kind of let down they don't have a cork. It's just like a standard twist off cap, but there we go. I think it actually has the same cap and bottle style as the Jim Beam Black, but I do like the big metal cap that the Jim Beam White label has a little bit better. So yeah, without further ado guys, cheers. We're gonna get this poured. That's kind of a big one. It's all right. Let's give this a few minutes to open up, I think, because like I said before you let it rest, it's very simple, very corn forward, sweet, like a caramel and corn. I would say like a really kettle corny smell. It's in between just like white sugar and caramel, a little bit of oak, and yeah, corn. So we're gonna let that rest. But this is thought to be 5 to 7 years old. They haven't released the exact specifics on it. The mash bill is 75% corn, 13 rye, and 12 malted barley. So yeah, it's a pretty corn heavy bourbon, which is quite evident as soon as you nose it after pouring it. It's very corn, very sweet corn, and it's not a bad nose before it opens up. It's very kettle corn like, so it's not bad by any means. But when it opens up, it gives way to what I think the previous bottle that I had obviously could have been it would have been a different batch number probably, because it was quite some time ago. But it opens up into like a nutty, almost a dusty, dry peanut, if that makes sense. And then it gets really savory and sweet. Like this one opens up just beautifully. I actually really love the nose on it, and I think the nose is one of its strong points, but being a 108 proof, the ethanol is not strong at all. Like, it's barely present. And this, like I said, haven't opened up yet, so let's give it a few. Alright, it's been a few, and I've let this glass open up. It's been really interesting smelling it through all the different phases of opening up. One of the most interesting noses I've ever smelt as it opened up. It just changed so much. A lot of it is still there. Some of it was very brief, but the savoriness has come out. Like I said, I don't know if it was the same batch as last time, but it's smelling quite similar. So as far as savory goes, because it definitely goes from sweet kettle corn and white sugar and a little bit of oak and slight dusty nuts. It goes from that into like a way more savory. I would say this is a very unique nose. It's honey ham, not a smoky ham. There's no smoke, but a honey ham. Very, very odd thing to get in whiskey for me. Beefsteak tomatoes, like when you fresh cut a beefsteak tomato, maybe a little bit underripe too, so it's got like that really fresh green kind of tomatoey smell. It's really weird. A little bit of salt too, not like salty seawater or anything like that, but just a slight little bit of salt. Almost reminds me of like a garden cocktail, Mott's garden cocktail, or like a V8 if you've ever had that. Just like tomato juice kind of thing. It's now opening up past the savory point, I would say. If you really dig in there, you get so many flavors out of it. Right now, I'm getting super sweet, grainy Fruit Loops. It's like exactly the smell of when you open the bag of Fruit Loops, which I love Fruit Loops. I haven't had them in so long, but this is exactly Fruit Loops. It's quite interesting because if you really try, you can still get the beefsteak tomatoes and the ham, sweet ham for sure. Like I said, honey ham, but you can also get the Fruit Loops, and that's like such a contrast. I can't explain how weird it is to smell both of those things in the same glass, and it kind of sounds like it would be gross, but it's not, because you're not smelling both at the same time. You have to search for each. But yeah, the Fruit Loops is so nice, and it's slight milk chocolate too, not a dark chocolate by any means. Maybe even like a cocoa powder, like cacao powder, hot chocolate mix. Like, there's just something in here that is giving it like a dry smell. Like I said, dry peanuts, or like dusty peanuts, and I'm getting like almost like the dry, the dust that comes out of the Fruit Loops when you open it. Like, there's something giving me like a dry, dusty nose here. But that's why I think hot chocolate powder, cacao powder. Oh yeah. See, on this side, more vanillas. Oh, vanilla custard. That smells like when my stepdad used to make custard. I mean, he still makes custard. The Bird's custard, I don't know if they all typically smell the same, but he always bought the Bird's custom custard powder. It smells like when you're making that. Vanilla custard. Ooh, that's nice. The saltiness is kind of fading though, and there's a lot of warm spices cinnamon, but sweet cinnamon, like Red Hot's candy or Cinnamon Hearts. Oh, just such an interesting nose. Yeah, not much caramel, not much oak, not the same stuff I was getting in the beginning when I first poured it. But so, anyways, onto the palate, guys. Cheers! I've gotten enough nose breath into the glass, so. Right off the bat, such a syrupy texture. Not oily. I would classify it more as syrupy. Coats the mouth, is mouth-watering, but it's just sweet and thick, but not oily. I don't know if that makes sense, but tip of the tongue, you got caramel, cinnamon, just a sweet cinnamon. So like I said, the Cinnamon Hearts or Red Hot's candy. This slightest faint bit of orange zest. It's very sweet, caramel and Cinnamon Hearts, and then the contrast between that and the bittery orange zest is very apparent. But getting a little bit of cherry, I think. Was that cherry? I don't think I got cherry before. Ooh. That's cherry. Cherry Twizzlers. A very sweet cherry. Almost artificial. So, yeah, cherry Twizzlers. Exactly Twizzlers. Man. This is... I didn't take into consideration how complex this really was for the price the first time I had it. So it's kind of just mind-blowing putting it into the palate and nose now after trying so many things that are double, triple the price. It's like insane. I'm getting that dusty peanut again on that sip. The cherry Twizzlers, dusty peanut, almost a little bit of graham cracker in the back end. Yeah, I think its final form is the dry nuttiness. A little bit of those oak tannins come in, and then it's like graham cracker, semi-sweet graham cracker, not like s'mores or anything. But finish is very bright red Twizzler. Little bit of oak, warm baking spice like cinnamon. Maybe it's maybe not full baking spice. I would say it's just kind of cinnamon, sweet cinnamon. So this, the Cinnamon Hearts, cherry Twizzlers, a little bit of vanilla. The Cinnamon Hearts are very prominent through the palate into the finish, as well as the cherry Twizzlers, and then those, they're still there, they're still kicking it. I would say it's like a medium long finish. I can still get cherry Twizzler. It's starting to come down. As it starts to come down, you get vanilla, like the cherry tape, or the sorry, not the cherry, the cinnamon candy kind of tapers, and you're left with vanilla cherry, kind of like a cherry vanilla Coke. A little bit of heat in the throat still. That finish is pretty decent. Like, that's a pretty decently long finish. I'm gonna go ahead and play with this and figure out my ratings for it, and we'll be back in like 2 minutes. I'm also gonna try adding a few drips of water here. Yeah, so that is a 108 proof. A little bit of water should not hurt it, especially with the complexity and the strength of the finish. I feel that it will not hurt it in any way. But yeah, we'll let that marry, and I'm going to figure out my rating, so I'll see you back in a minute. Alright, so we're back, and all I can say is the nose has completely turned into cherry Twizzlers once I added the water. Cherry Twizzlers and Cinnamon Hearts, but very faint, mainly cherry Twizzlers. A little bit of vanilla. No nuttiness. It took away the savory. it's all sweet and warm now. So nose is still great. Let's try it. Cheers. Oh. Wow. That's delicious. That's really brought out the cherry Twizzler in the palate too. I feel like I was just at the movies eating some cherry Twizzlers and sipping on some cherry vanilla Coke. Amazing. But let's get into the ratings. The nose, I'm gonna give this a solid 91. I think it's a super interesting nose because it starts off very nice but simple, like kettle corn, very sweet, moves into like just the most interesting savory, sweet, salty combo that I've ever really had. Like beefsteak tomato is such a prominent smell in there. It sounds so weird. And then a little bit of salt in there. The ham, it's totally savory. You let it sit a little bit longer, comes back into sweet Fruit Loops, which is amazing. I love the Fruit Loops. A little bit of that bitter orange zest, the vanilla custard, the warm cinnamon hearts. I love cinnamon. Cinnamon hearts are great. Or hot tamales, you may know them as. Overall, the palate is amazing. The cherry Twizzlers with the water almost turns into like a creamy cherry, kind of like cream soda-esque, but like a real, if you've ever had, they make orange soda with real cream. It's like taking cherry soda and putting cream in it, or a cherry, if you've ever had a cherry, what do you call it, slushy? Cherry slushy float, maybe like with some ice cream. Kool-Aid and ice cream, these are things I haven't really had, but these are things that are coming to my mind right now. But yeah, just overall the palate is very good. So the nose, 91, palate, 90, because it is just absolutely amazing. And for the price, I mean, come on. The finish is at 89. It's medium long, and it definitely leaves you wanting more. Like cherry Twizzler, vanilla, cherry vanilla Coke, just all this combo, absolutely amazing. So yeah, finish 89. I would say it's pretty unique. So as far as uniqueness goes, it's probably around a 90. I think that nose is incredible, absolutely unique. Don't get much savory and sweet contrast in everything else, at least not to that extent. The value, I'm gonna have to give that a 92, given that I paid $39.95 for this, $7.50. Seems like an absolute steal to me. That's in Canada, so you know, Ontario specifically. That's an amazing deal. Overall, that's a 91. That's sitting very high up there on a bourbon. Just I feel like the price is coming into play quite a bit, but I mean, if I'm gonna spend $39.99, I'm going for this all day. Like, yeah, you can spend some more and get the rare breed there. That's great. As far as Wild Turkey 101, this completely blows it out of the park, honestly. And it's like, I think it's like $3 cheaper, or I paid $3 less for this than I do Wild Turkey 101. So, Knob Creek up there is like 54, and yeah, Knob Creek is nice. It has a way thicker mouthfeel, but this, you can't beat it for the price. Come on, 91 overall. That's it. That's the final. So yeah, I appreciate you guys sticking through to the end, watching this full decapitation of the Jim Beam single barrel 108 proof. I didn't mention it's unfiltered, so yeah, non-chill filtered. Yeah, I appreciate you watching. Definitely subscribe and leave a comment of something you want to see me review, and got lots of reviews coming soon. I hope you enjoyed this one, and stay tuned for lots more. Don't forget to check out all of my other reviews that I have on the channel. They're all categorized in playlists by what type of whiskey you want to see reviewed. Yeah, this has been Jesse, or Whiskey Business, and I'm out. Peace.